All right, guys. So let's start. Since our last episode, Habs had 3 games, went 1-2. We'll start with the first match in Carolina. KK scored.
Of
We made
course,
it close.
Obviously.
of course,
Obviously, he's going to
of course.
score.
KK
It
scores.
always
Isn't that
happens.
it's the curse of the
Montreal
Habs,
against
right?
a Quebec goaltender
Hmm.
or Montreal against an ex-player. The Quebec goaltender is going to do well, or Montreal against an ex-player are going to score or get a point or do something positive for that team. We know that's going to happen, but solid 2 periods from me. Anyway, solid 2 periods. They went two
Yeah,
and two. They were 2-2 going into the third, and then Carolina said, "Okay, they're gonna step up, take over." So, what'd you
have
guys
you
think of that
noticed?
match?
Have you noticed though that like with I'd say the last 4 games, they have had 2 solid periods per game, but it's always two. It's never a full fucking game. It's either they start off slowly or they start off, decent, and then it tapers off towards the end of the game, and then at the end, that's where they make their defensive mistakes, and teams capitalize on that.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't
I think
know.
that comes to experience. I really
Oh, you
think
think
that
so?
comes down
Okay.
to experience. Yeah, I
Okay.
do.
Okay.
Like that game against Carolina, they fought well, and then just experience takes over, and just I'm gonna say naturally talented team. Remember
You
too,
know,
and we'll talk about it later. They're ravaged by injuries, so
and
it
they're
it
still
doesn't
like
really
third
help.
place.
Yeah, exactly. So I was shocked they made it that far, but
Hmm.
again, Carolina just showed their dominance in the third and they took over that game. I mean, the pro tank in me, I'm good with it. Adri, Chris, I don't know if you guys watched the game. What are your thoughts on what happened in Carolina?
Go ahead, AG, if you want to start.
Not much to
No,
say. Like it would, like I said, the first couple of periods they're like, okay, cool. Then basically the floodgates open and that's it. Like I said, it was over as soon as I think there was what back to back goals and then game over.
Yeah.
I, you know, I don't know if it was towards the end of the game it got a little bit more rough. There was a little, tough stuff in the corners and whatever. Again, I'm gonna say it like this: it's really hard to pinpoint moments in the game because the guys who we know would be standing out and doing special things that are memorable from a game are just not there anymore. I mean, it's down to Suzuki and other than maybe flashes here and there of Harvey Pinard and Suzuki chemistry. There's not much there. Like Joey said, hey, wow, the score is close. It's not a complete blowout. There's a little development from our young guys. Okay,
It's not only
next game.
development; it's also good coaching. That makes a big difference as
Yeah,
well. We're also
there are
seeing that.
there's
You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
right, but if you notice too, and this well, it showed more than in the Devils game. Who's really stepping up with all these injuries and taking his opportunity is Justin Barron. He's actually
yeah,
somebody that's
Mm.
been impressing lately. So I'm
yeah.
hoping that growth continues um, in the future. It just he's showing game by game. Carolina did well, and we'll segue into this against Toronto, where I mean, yeah, I like a loss, but not against Toronto. We go ahead and lose to Toronto 5-1. I don't know what to even make about that game. Is just I just don't think they were there at all. Like really,
Toronto, man.
yeah, exactly. They just weren't
Whatever.
there. They just
But
weren't there at all, and I didn't see
we'll give
anybody
Toronto a
step up.
game.
What, Adrian?
So we'll give Toronto a game.
Yeah, yeah. Usually we play them hard than what we did Saturday. I was actually surprised. Like usually we play them tougher. Maybe we did a bit in the first period. We did score first, but then after that, I don't know. I think they just fell apart. But they have nobody. No Doc,
Yeah.
Wooly. Obviously, there's just so many injuries. Caulfield. It's just like, how does this team keep up for another 25 games? I don't know. It's crazy.
And it's getting harder schedule wise.
It's the young guys.
And we're about to trade away players potentially.
Yes, we are, and we're going to get it
Hmm.
into the trade market as well. And this is the Statman Joe getting angry, and Adri call me complaining. We go on to New Jersey, guys. We beat New Jersey 5-2. I do not understand this type of game. New Jersey, when we're shit and they're shit, we still always lose them, especially in New Jersey. We come out flying against New Jersey. Kovacevic, well, Barron, that goal, Suzuki, that snipe he had. This is where I see that they're not a team that is like the worst of the worst, in the Chicago, Columbus. but they're obviously not there either. They're sort of getting into that middle, which then shows the aggression. Yeah, Zook.
I said it also, I believe, in a couple shows ago with Sam. Is like, or maybe it was offline. It was in our chats. I asked him. I'm like, the Habs. If you look at the shittier teams in the league, like the shitty, it's a 5 bottom teams. Where I think the Habs are part of that group. I asked him, who's the best of that group? Who's gonna have the best future in the group? What's the answer, Joey?
Out of all the no, it's got to be Montreal, of course.
Exactly. So that's a good sign, right? So that's actually a positive if you look at it. Yeah, yes, they're last, they're in the last tier group of the league, but it won't be the case for a long time. Like a lot of the teams in that category, it's been a while for some of these teams. They can't seem to either get their proper rebuild and things like that, or they don't have a core young staff, a young core coming up. I think
yeah, no, you're
the
right.
Habs have a step on those teams, right? Which
You're
means
right.
in the next few years they'll be in the middle group.
Well,
they'll be above a Detroit or something to that effect, or near Ottawa, or like something like that. And then it's going to grow.
And they're definitely more advanced in that department than the teams that are below them. We're talking about Chicago, Columbus.
Yeah.
Anaheim has good prospects. We just got to see them get better.
Yeah, they're another one in that group where they could explode within the next 4 or 5 years.
Chicago's actually just starting this year. You notice they got rid of everybody, everyone. So they're starting this year their rebuild. Columbus, I didn't even know what they're doing. They got Johnny Gaudreau thinking they're going to make the playoffs, and so they're nowhere near there. They're absolutely nowhere near there. So we're definitely a step ahead of them. And a game like this, some of these guys, the way they're playing, some of the young guys, it's really impressive. Obviously, I don't like the loss, but it was really impressive to see how they played in New Jersey, a team that Montreal always struggled. And for God's sakes, guys, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's some sort of bluff or something. Is Montembeault, maybe he does the skate, the warm-up skate, he goes back. Is it Carey Price that comes back out and puts the mask on and everyone thinks it's Montembeault? Because what the hell is this guy? I don't understand. I don't understand where he came from last year.
Where he came from is he's finally getting time to fucking play properly and develop and all this.
Not only that, Adrian, he could have been also injured last year as well.
Yes, that too. But again, all the constant shuffling of
that too.
You play one bad game, you're out. You play this, he gets into a groove and he's good.
I don't know if you noticed.
Same thing with Allen.
Yeah.
He gets into a groove where he's good, and then he gets into a groove when he sucks.
Maybe,
but that's why Allen is Allen, right? So,
Allen's more experienced, right? But like, let's say, I think Montembeault's, he's been, what's the word? He's been under, I guess, what's that guy's name? Marc-Andre Raymond. Who's the goalie coach? Raymond.
Raymond. I don't know his first name.
I don't know his first name, but it's Raymond. Maybe he's learning a thing or two from him.
Oh, for sure.
Into the games, because technically he looks fantastic. Last year he was terrible technically. He was falling everywhere.
Don't forget, he also carries in the room.
You think so?
Whether we like it, whether we like it or
spirit.
not. No, but his spirit. But he's not just sitting at home. He said he wants to be involved, so he's there. He's not there all the time, every day, but he's there. He's the biggest, one of the biggest veterans there. So he and
you think he's having an influence on Montembeault?
Well, for sure.
It only fit. Yeah, I would think so.
Interesting.
Or else you wouldn't you don't hear much about him.
But he's always been quiet. Yeah, he's
been quiet. But the thing is too is you don't know who's coming in and out of the arena unless you're really there.
No, for sure.
And he's, they're constantly practicing whether they're there or if they're at the the complex in Brossard. So he's around. Like you said, if he's not there, his spirit's there.
Yeah, for sure.
I think, look, Carey can definitely be having a pitching in. I think the goalie coach is definitely having an impact. Because I mean, even look at Allen. You look at times last year, and you're like, "What the hell is he like? How the hell can he possibly be doing these things? He was never doing." Well, maybe in his heyday back in St. Louis, but going back to something, it's the first time that Montembeault, whether it be in Florida or here in Montreal, he has the first time to be in nets, ride the waves, get settled in, find a certain consistency without having anybody breathing down his neck. Because sure as shit, Caden Primo is not the guy who's breathing down Montembeault's neck to get into the net. And once he learns to ride that wave of emotion, settle himself, get a little confidence in, he won the net. He got himself in the right. I think for goaltenders, and I'm the furthest thing from a goaltender, but getting that proper mind frame and getting that confidence, makes all the difference. We've seen goalies ride hot streaks, but I think he's just gotten to a certain point where he's like, you know what, I can afford to make mistakes because nobody's going to be chasing out nobody's going to be chasing me out of my net. And I'm not going to be getting sent down to the AHL. I'm not going to be riding the bus going to Laval. I'm not going to be getting traded. I think, it's just the more that time went forward, he got that confidence, and that confidence was maybe the only key piece missing for him to actually be a steady goaltender. That's my theory, at least.
And do you guys think he can end up eventually being a number one?
I don't want to put that pressure on him, but if he keeps
We won't
playing,
put the pressure, Chris.
Number one.
No, but I think it's not impossible. I still think it's unlikely, and my aspiration for a goaltender like that would be the perfect balance back in the day when you had like Rask and Tim Thomas playing. I know that's another category of goaltender, but splitting the
Thomas, definitely another category.
The season, yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, completely.
I don't think he could be a number one, Joey.
No,
look,
I'm with you.
Because I'll tell you one thing. So let's say our fucking projections are right. The Habs within the next 5 years are going to be a really strong team, right? If the key pieces grow and develop to what we think is going to happen. Okay. That being said, if they go into that category of elite teams or contending teams, look at the fucking contending teams goaltenders right now. Do you think he even stacks up to any of those goalies, dude?
No, not right now, but he's certainly playing.
Even in the future, I don't think he has that yet. So it's either we score fucking 7 goals a game and win 7-6 against these elite teams, or we have to fucking start drafting a fucking goalie that's going to be good.
But Zook, I don't think it'll be another one either. But the way he's playing as hot as, let's say, Binnington was in the playoffs.
Right, but that has a short life.
Yeah. If you get a good team and he plays that in the playoffs, do you think they can win? Do you think they can win?
Oh, for lucky, yeah.
Rounds?
For sure. Playoffs, everyone's injured, right? So, for sure. They're going to shoot at his chest.
The question is the steadiness, is how long can he keep this up?
That's
He's proving me wrong every game he plays. Really, he is.
The thing is now, it's also
still young too, but
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're playing...
Exactly.
Yeah, pressure free.
They're not. Yeah, pressure free.
Exactly.
They're not tanking, Joey. They're not tanking. Get over it.
No, nobody's trying to tank. I know.
Yeah, nobody's trying to tank. But after,
but you know what?
What Keller said.
The teams under. My hope was 29th. The teams under are not far between Arizona and San Jose. Really, they're not far.